North Carolina Picker here on a Sunday, number 2 show today. We're going to go through 50 more records. This is number 8. This is my 8th show of my 50 for 50 days. 50 albums every day for 50 days, or until I go through them all. And we're up into the E's and the F's. And then we're going to cruise right on all the way to the Z's, and it's probably going to take another couple weeks. But strap in, here we go. I'm going to pull up the first one. Elton John. We made it to Elton. 17-11-70. It's his live album. Got some great songs on here. Take Me to the Pilot, Honky Tonk Woman, 60 Years On was probably my favorite Elton John song. Can I Put You On? There's all kinds of great songs on this. It's a great live album. Pick it up. Then we got the soundtrack to Friends. It's got some great songs on here. Making Friends. There's a great Elton John track. And then there's some other good songs on here. Never seen the movie. It would have been right around my high school days. How about some Tumbleweed Connection? We got Elton doing the old Tumbleweed Connection. Is a lot of got a country flair to it. But then I think Bernie Taupin wrote a lot of songs that had country in mind. Honky Tonk Chateau. This one has Jean-Luc Ponty on it, playing the electric violin. I'm missing Madman Across the Water. I need to get that one. Empty Sky, this is a re-release, reissue of an earlier album of his, Empty Sky. Rock of the Westies. Got some great songs on this one. Blue Moves, one of my favorite Elton John albums, and Steven Wilson's actually one of his favorite Elton John albums as well. I heard a lot of people weren't happy about this album when it came out. It came out, had a good streak for a long time, and then he came out with this double one, and he got turned off by some people. But I love it. I think it's a great album. I remember having it back in the day. Now we're going to go right into the titans of rock. Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. These guys were my favorite band in high school. This is before I was listening to Genesis. And then I started listening to more prog after that. But little did I know, I was already listening to prog by listening to these guys. Here's some Tarkus. This is their second album. Pictures at an exhibition. I was able to get an original master recording of this for a good price, and I put the other copy I had in the other room, and that'll be going to the sale. Then we got their 4th album, Trilogy. Has the song From the Beginning on here. I hear that on the FM radio station up here in the mountains of North Carolina. It comes on their station. I didn't know it was a hit single here in the U.S. From the Beginning. And put these down here for a second. Okay, let's continue on. How about Brain Salad Surgery? Probably my favorite album by them. I do love Trilogy too. And then after that you have Welcome Back, My Friends, to the Show That Never Ends. That's what Rod the Happy Hippie says all the time. But this is the triple live album that they came out with, and I used to have this on 8-track and play it in my car all the time. That was like a big thing in high school. Emerson, Lake and Palmer Works. I seen this tour in San Diego. I watched them shoot the cannons off the stage, the fake cannons off the stage when they did Pirates. It was great. Great show. Only one time I got to see them. Works Volume 2. I was able to find a promo online, and then I took my other one to the other room. How about ELP in concert? This has been an introduction fanfare for a common man, Peter Gunn, Tiger in the Spotlight, C'est la Vie, The Enemy God. I believe that's from Tarkus. There's still a couple of other things I'm missing. This album gets a bad rap all the time, but if you listen to, let's see, what is that, side 2, I think. Memoirs of an Officer and a Gentleman, written by Keith Emerson and Pete Sinfield. That's a great, that side 2 is awesome on here. So don't give up on Love Beach, because Love Beach has got, side 1 is a little bit like the Bee Gees, but side 2 is really good. So don't give up on Love Beach. You can buy it just for side 2. And we got Emerson, Lake and Powell. This is when they teamed up with Cozy Powell, and Carl Palmer took a seat. I think it's when he went to do Asia, and they continued on without him, and then they picked up the late Cozy Powell. So they were able to keep the ELP. See, that worked out pretty good for them. Emmett Rhodes, another one of those albums I had when I was a kid, and when I was one of the first ones I ever bought. This album, I bought this one. I bought Keith Emerson and the Nice, and I had Rolling Stone album Get Your Ya-Ya's Out. Those are the first 3 albums I remember owning. This one here was one of them. Great album. I don't have his other albums. I've never heard his other albums, but they go for pretty good money. Eric Burdon is here. Eric Burdon and the Animals. I like me some Eric Burdon and the Animals. House of the Rising Sun and all. There's another one, the greatest hits of Eric Burdon and the Animals. We got Diodato, Prelude. This one here he does also Sprague Zarathustra. Yeah, 2001 Space Odyssey. Diodato was a multi-instrumentalist. Made some great albums in the 70s. I have 4 of them. That's the first one. Here's Diodato 2. Whirlwinds. Very Together. Diodato. Moving right into another one, Love Island. Had 5 albums of Diodato. These are all $1, $2 pickups. You can get it in the store, and they're very, very good. They're about some Rod Stewart and Faces with Ronnie Wood. I'm Not As Good As a Wink to a Blind Horse. I've had this album forever too. Not this copy, but this would be like, I need to do my top 10 album. My first top 10 albums that I remember owning. I think I'll do that when I get done with all this. It's going to be a couple weeks down the road. It'd be pretty interesting to pull them all out and look at them and say, I had this one. This is all like high school days. Had Aerosmith 2 Toys in the Attic, but I don't have that anymore. On Half Bricking. Fairport Convention. Need to give that a listen. Fat Mattress. I believe there's one guy in here from Jimi Hendrix band, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody will correct me down there in the bottom. How about Arc 2, Flamin' Youth? I've showed this album a few times. Here's Mr. Phil Collins. This was his early band before he joined up with Genesis in '71. And he auditioned for Nursery Crime, and then the rest is history. Then we got Flash, Peter Banks. Everyone that watches my show knows that I like Peter Banks. He was the original guitar player for Yes. And then he was given the boot, and then Steve Howe came in on their 3rd album. But then after Peter Banks went on to make this band here, Flash, they made 3 albums. And they're really good. So this one here is their self-titled. Flash, Flash in the Can. It's their second album. And how about some Out of Our Hands, Flash, their third album and final album. I heard there's some live material out there they're going to put on CD. It's coming out soon. That'd be pretty cool. Trying to get away from listening to a bunch of CDs though. How about Fleetwood Mac, Future Games? We're going right into Fleetwood Mac. This is the early stuff. There's still some other early stuff I'd like to pick up if I can find for cheap. Mystery to Me. Bare Trees. Tusk. Got some great songs on this one too. Great Lindsey Buckingham songs. Tango in the Night. The album cover's a little beat up, but the record's really good. Rumors. Just on the like Coke bottle, green. Picked this one up at Target. Flying Burrito Brothers. I was just listening to this last night. You see on my my Insta that I show the records that I've been playing every night. I'll put a picture up there and talk a little bit about the record on my Insta. FM Black Noise. For your older people, Insta is Instagram. That's what the kids call it. FM Surveillance. This is a Canadian band. Rachel has shown this band and talked about this band before. I have 3 of their albums. This is City of Fear. Focus 3. Found this at a antique mall. They paid $5 on it. It's a double album. And Proghat was talking about this band and this album in particular. And if you can get a chance, sub up Mr. Proghat. He's got a great channel, great prog channel. And Prog Corner, that's another great one. Yep, there's lots of great channels out there. The Happy Hippie, Rod the Happy Hippie. Here's Fox. This is a local band. This album was actually made over in a recording studio in Granite Falls, which is about, I don't know, 25 miles from me, 30 miles. And this is more of like a garage rock. This album goes up there for pretty good money. I found it at a thrift store. No, I guess it's a thrift store, antique mall. They have dogs there, and they take them in for sheltering. And they sell their merchandise, and that helps go towards the feeding the animals and stuff. So every once in a while, I'll go up there, I'll go by there, and then they have records there for $1. And I looked at this one day, and I said, that looks pretty interesting. I just did a blind buy, brought it home, and it's worth a couple $100. So I think I'll hold on to it for now. I don't know anybody that would want it. I've been to a couple record stores locally, and they have copies of them for sale too. So Freedom, Through the Years, promo. This is a garage band, rock, hard rock, garage, a little bit proggy at times, psych on the Coltesian, Emerson, Lake and Palmer label there. It's pretty good. We're getting down to the end here. How about some Frost music? This one's kind of hard to see. It's in the Shrink. This is another garage band. It's on the Vanguard label. If anybody knows anything about this band, Frost, it's Frost music by the Frost. And it actually came out in '69, so it's pretty old. Anybody out there know anything about that album? How about Gamayan? This is a prog rock jazz fusion band. Picked this up in Florida. The guy was telling me about him. This is from '87, so it's probably that neo prog, but it's more of a fusion album, jazz fusion. Anybody out there heard about these guys? Gamalon, Gamayan. They're really good. That's a good album. They have another one out too. This one here is on the red vinyl. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Gary Boyle. If you don't know who Gary Boyle is, you need to go ahead and check him out. Go online and check him out. This album's called The Dancer. And there's lots of people on this album. Robin Lumley's on here. and Rod Argent's on here. Simon Phillips is on here. It's got a cascade of talent on here, and there's some people on here from Brand X, and that's how I got into listening to Gary Boyle. This album here is a cooker. It's a smoker. If you like jazz fusion and a little bit prog, then you need to pick up Gary Boyle. And here's his other album I have, his Electric Glide, featuring Gary Moore on here. So between him and Gary Moore, oh my gosh, that album was a smoker too. Okay, then we got Gary Brooker. Everybody knows who Gary Brooker is. He's the lead piano player, lead lyricist, singer in Procol Harum. This is a promo that I found for a couple bucks and picked it up. Fear of Flying. No More Fear of Flying. So that rounds out the Fresh 50. And we'll have 50 more tomorrow. And then right now we're into where are we at? We're in the G's. So we're going to continue on with the G's and get down to the H's. And then I'll get my J's. I'm going to try to move my J's over here on my shelf. So I'm making a little bit of room as I go. Taking records out that are going to go to the big sale in the fall. So y'all take care out there. I got this one done in less than 17 minutes. That's pretty good. So I don't want to keep you ladies and gentlemen too long today. So y'all have a great rest of your weekend. It's Sunday. I'm going to enjoy a little bit of time today with my family, having a little dinner later, and that'll be nice. And we'll be talking to you soon. God bless our troops out there, and y'all have a good day. We'll talk to you soon. See you tomorrow.